From the IMTV Wave Channel 5 studio at Greenville Senior High School, home of the Greenville Green Wave, the Greenville Veterans Memorial Park and Digital Library proudly presents Never Stop Serving.
Hello everyone, my name is Tyler Fleming, and I'm here to host an interview for a very special episode of Never Stop Serving. On this episode, our guest is one Lindsey Stacy, and where do I even begin with this guest? This is for one, I'm honored to be hosting this one. I have sort of worked with this family before. I was responsible and made a video for their fundraiser for Lindsey Stacy's husband, Kenton Stacy. We'll talk all about that in this episode here. So first of all, let's introduce our guest here. Hello.
Hi.
So, welcome to Never Stop Serving, Lindsey. Alright, let's start off. Am I pronouncing Kenton's name right?
Yes, it's Kenton Stacy.
Okay, because the entire time I was working on that video.
Right.
Everyone kept telling me I was pronouncing it wrong.
Nope.
But
Yep.
I told you. But
thank you so much. That video was amazing.
And it was really an honor to make it. And in the process of making it, maybe we'll put a link to it so people know what we're talking about. In the process of making it, I would just, that was my first time hearing the story too, and
Right.
I'm hoping to get more details on that because it's been quite the journey for your family.
Yes, it has.
And just such magnificent strength came from it, and that was one of the many times if anyone knows me, that's one of the many times I've cried during my IMTV career.
Right.
Just hearing that story, and then when it was uploaded to the Stacy Strong, the hashtag Stacy Strong Facebook
Correct.
group page, whatnot, and all the positive feedback I got from it, it was really quite humbling.
Yeah.
But enough about me. We have quite the story to tell here.
Yeah. Where do I begin?
I suppose. Well, I think something that's, I don't know, maybe a little unique about this particular story, is you and Kenton, pronouncing that right, is you're both alumni from.
Yes. We actually started dating in high school. So.
Nice. I'd kind of like to hear, as to get the sort of young person's perspective. I'd kind of like to hear what, Greenville was like back then. Like what meeting Kenton was like.
I met him our freshman year. He sat beside me in study hall, and he was funny, and he was a nice guy, but he seemed like he had a little bit of a dangerous side to him, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know, he was just very loving and caring, and I could tell he was a good Christian man back then. He still is, but
Right.
that he was a good guy.
So you dated throughout your entire high school career, correct?
We started dating more like our sophomore year. Yeah.
Okay. And then, you went through high school. I, recently graduated myself, so
Right.
I kind of know how it is.
Yeah.
Like, people hardly change, and I imagine Greenville High School didn't change all that much either. Of just
Probably
like,
not, yeah.
yeah, it's just like the, same teachers, same drama and whatnot.
Right.
So I kind of want to know, what was your first step out of high school?
He did a year's service for Habitat for Humanity.
Okay.
Because he was told that he would get money to go to a college if he wanted to, and he used that money. He tried to use Habitat for Humanity's, the grant they gave him to go to the Ohio Fire Academy. But I think they ended up not covering that because it wasn't an actual college. And then I went to Sinclair College in Dayton. And It was about 2003. He proposed, and we got married a year later.
Okay. When did he actually join the Navy, right?
He joined the Navy in 2005.
Okay.
He was on the Greenville Auxiliary, and he also was on Union City's Auxiliary for the fire department. He couldn't find full-time work, and so I always was looking up jobs for him, and I found a 1-800 number, and recruiting for firefighters, and he called it, and it was the Navy, and the rest is history. I mean, his original plan was to do 4 years to get points on the civil service exam, because Greenville said they weren't hiring. That ended up not being true as well, which I know really hurt, but he fell in love with the whole EOD, the mindset, and the job, and he never looked back.
Let's see. On here, Never Stop Serving, as you can imagine, our guests usually are veterans.
Correct.
And I think we've had a couple, but we hardly ever talk to the other half, the better half of these men and women. So I've just wondered, what's the experience of being a military spouse?
It's hard when they leave. Just trying to be totally supportive and just take care. You're pretty much mom and dad when he leaves. Just holding down the fort and not having him there, but you have to be supportive to him and his career.
Yeah.
So, it's a hard life.
And how, if you don't mind me asking, how do you feel that the children respond to that kind of thing?
That's what we always talk about. That I can tell him how sad they are and how much they miss him, but he never sees it.
Yeah,
and
they must have tremendous respect for him.
Yeah, they do. They'd obviously be really sad.
Yeah. Well, he really is a hero. When you get down to it. Before we, get into the actual the real meat of this, I suppose, I was just wondering as to any sort of achievements or accolades he earned while in the Navy.
He's had a very tremendous career. He went in. He has been on. This was his 4th combat deployment, so he served in Iraq, Afghanistan twice, and then now Syria. And in 2010, his deployment had earned him the USO Sailor of the Year, where they picked someone to represent each branch of the service. So he was the one selected for the Navy.
Wow.
So,
that's tremendous. What can I say? It's all sometimes that's a little dream I personally have of just you go to Greenville High School's Wikipedia page, and you just see the notable alumni.
Right.
And honestly, Kenton should be on there because Sailor of the Year, that's something, right?
Right.
And it's one day maybe I'll be on there. Maybe I'll have my own Wikipedia page.
And then another huge accomplishment was he made chief in the Navy in less than 8 years, which is pretty unheard of.
Okay.
Some people don't even make that if they stay in the whole 20 years.
And
he did it in less than 8 years.
yeah, it's. You see, that's really why I, enjoy this show, because it's just these little. I call them little, but they're really pretty large achievements that hardly ever get highlighted.
Right.
And I'm just so glad that we're hearing of it now, because I think it's important for sure. Before, I suppose, I don't know what you would call it, incident in Raqqa. Had he been wounded before, or?
He actually had a close call on his last deployment in Afghanistan, where an actual IED went off, and I believe, I mean, he was not injured, but I remember her calling and telling me he could, throw him back a little bit, but he wasn't injured. I think he had some brain wounds.
I just couldn't imagine such a thing. Like it's really those sort of moments that like really make you think, right? I guess we'll start getting into the real meat, as I said.
Yeah.
Now, I guess just a little bit of background for, I guess, me personally. I'm sure like many of us out here, I read like articles and headlines about like the liberation of Raqqa and like how like like here in the U.S. we were celebrating like taking ISIS's like territories down to the size of a dime.
Right.
And it's just like those headlines hardly ever, if ever, highlight the actual individuals involved in something like that.
Right.
Because usually it's just the pictures of all the happiness and all the liberation, but people hardly ever realize that comes at a cost. And, if you don't mind,
I mean our servicemen and women plus the locals there that are part of ISIS.
Yeah. If you don't mind, if you could just like, could you lay out the events of that day he was in Raqqa?
I can tell you from like the point of when I got a call.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's hear that.
The day before was our son's birthday, Mason, and obviously we live in San Diego, so we went to Legoland and we stayed the night at the hotel, and we were getting ready to go into Legoland, but I had checked out of the hotel and Kenton's mom had come out to help me. And I was packing up the car and I got a phone call and it said like 808 number, so I knew that was the sat phone and figured, his cell phone. This was our first deployment where we were actually able to like FaceTime. Just using his phone and texting, so they had Wi-Fi for. So I'm like, his Wi-Fi must be down. He's calling me from the sat phone, and it actually ended up being his CO, and they were on their like company deployment to Bahrain. And I just remember him telling me that Kenton had been in an accident, and just things were pretty bad. He was very vague, but that he was getting ready to be transported to Baghdad. And again, I had no clue, hardly any of it until I actually saw him.
Yeah, for a while, it was just you just knew that something had happened and it wasn't good.
Yeah, not that that the doctor had massaged his heart or that my husband died 4 times. Or a 2% chance of surviving. I don't know a lot of that until actually probably a few months later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And like, how long after that did you actually get the first scene?
He got injured on November 9th, and he was back in San Antonio by November 12th, like very early morning.
Okay. Yeah.
So I
He was in intensive care, right?
He actually, but they have at BMC, they have a burn unit. He didn't have any burns, but they brought him over on an echo machine, which actually breathes for him. I mean, if they wouldn't have had that, we wouldn't have needed that. So the machine pretty much breathed for my husband the whole flight. They picked him up in Baghdad, went to the launch school in Germany to refuel. Refueled again, gave him Baltimore, and then they came back. They took him to San Antonio because that's where the ECMO team came from.
Okay.
And he's been in Texas ever since.
And like, what has the recovery process been like for the family and for him?
It's been hard.
I'm sure.
A lot of ups and downs. Just seeing him being in that state and as active as he's been, it's heartbreaking. Yeah.
I couldn't. Many of us couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
And it's just like, can't help but, mention your children again. Like,
Right.
how have they been significant in this?
I would say the two middle, I mean, they're all affected, but the two middle ones are taking it the hardest. Our oldest, Logan, he thinks it's cool he's in a wheelchair. He asks a lot of questions. I know he cares, but
Yeah.
I don't know if he understands the magnitude. Because he's our special needs son. But Mason and Annabelle, I mean, they get it, and they're hurting, and wonder daddy home. I don't know why he's not normal, I don't know why he's in a wheelchair, and why does this happen. There's telling there's people controlling the world, and I know we're gonna get through it, so.
Yeah, it certainly takes incredible strength, and like, I just have to commend your family for that.
Thank you.
While I was editing and putting that together, I saw many pictures of him in the like during his recovery, and I saw he had a lot of visitors.
Yeah, his command has been amazing. They send out one of his co-workers for a whole week every week, and they've done that since he got hurt. Yeah.
Tight-knit group.
Yeah.
And fairly support that.
It's a different kind of brotherhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
San Diego.
Oh yeah. But I mean, we lived on the East Coast in Virginia for 7 years, and there's been a lot of guys that went to come out and came in, and he's had old team members from the East Coast that have came. He's had co-workers that have come from Italy and Germany just to see him.
And so I just gotta ask, like, what's the recovery process like? What's the
Every day he has, except on weekends, he has PT, OT, speech, and they're just doing all the, he's rehabilitating, but there's so many unknowns that we don't know what's going to happen.
then I guess our next point is to go to, like, where is he now? Like, what's sort of the next step here?
Next step is to get him back to San Diego and just keep doing more rehab to hopefully get something back. Because he's only able to move like his shoulders and his neck right now, and then to get him home.
Once again, I have to commend your family. I commend you specifically, like, putting together, first of all, these shirts.
Right.
These are very nice shirts. Everyone's
Oh,
come
thank
with
you.
those. Just putting together the charity for them, and
Right. And I actually, I have to thank friends and his team member that was with him, Scott. He did the shirts, and everyone's just been rallying behind us and supporting us.
like, it's nice to see, like, that brotherhood. It's nice to see the community come together, and even and I don't know, it was strange to see our president Donald Trump speak about it.
And it's been amazing having our hometown rally behind us as well.
Yeah, like I said, I couldn't imagine any of it. I just have to once again commend the bravery, commend the strength, and the resourcefulness of the family, and I think it's important to remember that, like, going back to Raqqa, like, you see the headlines of, like, Raqqa liberated, like, ISIS on the run, and whatnot. But then, that's what our shows like us are for.
Right.
Like, we take a deep dive and we listen to individuals, because that's really what it's about.
Right.
I'd like you to speak about how we the community and our viewership can support you in this way. How can we get shirts? How can we donate?
We have our own Facebook page. It's #StacyStrong. We have a pretty big following, about 5,600 members. And all the links are on there. We're kind of in the process of getting an actual web page going for people that aren't Facebook users, so that we can kind of have a blog of what's going on. Yeah, Bold Clothing, they're in National City, California, and they're the ones that are doing the shirts. And Bonnie's been great, and she's actually kind of piloting doing like a 4th of July with an American flag t-shirt of Kenton. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting to see the community rally behind this, and I don't know. I think I've hit all my bullet points here, and I don't know. Is there anything you'd like to just say to our viewership here?
We're just so thankful for all the love and support from the community.
Well, that's all. And I'm told by my producer just this minute that Never Stop Serving ourselves, we will be selling these and helping to support the hashtag Stacy Strong movement, I suppose, by selling them at our we'll have a booth of our own at the Great Dark County Fair, and what's the other place?
The Annie Oakley Days.
Oh, and Annie Oakley Days. So you see us, you'll see these shirts, and you can support Lindsey Stacy here and her husband and her children and her family, because these are people that really make our community strong and come together. So with that, I'm Tyler Fleming. Thank you so much for coming here. It's been quite an honor to actually meet you in person. And with that, I say that's an episode.
Thank you for watching. Please visit us on our social media sites. Please consider contributing to our mission in some way. Also, we are always looking for veterans and their families to share their stories with us. Be sure to join us next week for our next episode of Never Stop Serving.